two of Logitech's best mouse. Let's take a closer look at them. In one hand we have the Logitech MX Master, which retails at about $140 here. And on the other hand we have the Logitech MX Anywhere 2, which retails at about $129. These two mice are some of flagship items from Logitech, and Logitech appears to be aiming at a new design language as far as aesthetics are concerned in order to move the company image forward. Unboxing the two, we have very similar inclusions: a manual, a USB to micro USB cable for charging. The one included with the MX Master is longer for some reason, and a unifying receiver. Let's look at the physical attributes of the two, starting with the Anywhere. At the top we have the usual left and right click buttons, and a scroller which we will talk about soon, and a middle button behind it. On the side we have this geometric pattern that gives this mouse a unique look. There are two arrow buttons as well. At the bottom we have the on-off switch, a connect button, the sensor, and a device selector. More about that in a moment. With the MX Master, the top buttons are very similar to that of Anywhere 2. The scroller looks similar but has some differences. On the side, the geometric patterns appear more pronounced. There are two arrow buttons next to the second scroller. At the thumb rest, there is a button as well, which the Anywhere does not have. At the bottom, the items are exactly the same as that of Anywhere 2. The positions are different, that's all. As far as looks are concerned, I'd rather not make any comments about that. Individuals have their own choices, and if you like it or not, you can make up your mind about that. Okay, time to talk about the differences. The MX Master feels more full under the palm, or it feels the whole hand due to its larger size. The geometric pattern I have found not to be very touch friendly after a while. It looks great, but the novelty wears off. And what we are left with is a pattern that does not conform to shape of our finger. I'm not aware of it always, but I'd rather not be reminded of any shape related issue ever. In Anywhere 2, this issue is not so pronounced since it does not have a thumb rest. The surface of the two mouse is different too. The top surface of Anywhere 2 is this plain black plastic, while the MX Master has a matte rubber coating. I have to say, this goes to the MX Master as it feels better. The material on the sides are same on the both. Now the all-important scroll wheel. First of all, the MX Master has a bigger wheel which feels better to use. A difference you will only know if you have ever used them side by side. Any other day no one can tell. Hyperscrolling. This is a feature where the scroller is set to spin freely. Both mouse can switch between the traditional step-by-step scrolling to hyperscrolling, but how we switch between the two is different. In case of Anywhere 2, it's simple. We press the scroller down and it switches between hyperscrolling and the traditional. This is absolutely a miss. For decades we have been accustomed to doing middle click by pressing the scroller. Now this mouse asks us to change habit. There is a button behind the scroller which can be set to middle click, but it's clearly a compromise. One way it does make up some grounds is by being able to tilt left and right. How I usually use that is tilt left to copy, tilt right to paste. This is so simple and useful. How many times a day we copy and paste? Unfortunately, the MX Master cannot do this. The MX Master has a slightly different approach. It has two ways of switching hyperscrolling on and off. First, there is this built-in mechanism that switches to hyperscrolling if you scroll too fast, like on a big document or something. And when the free scrolling wheel slows down, it catches and switches back to normal scrolling. The other method is to assign the button just behind the scroller to switch between the two modes. Personally, I never switch between the two modes. Rather, it's hyper scrolling all the time. Reason behind that is that once used to it, there's no reason to switch back to the old resistive scrolling mode. The side of the two mouse. The Anywhere in its simplicity presents two arrow keys. This can be set to volume up or down, or forward or back, or any other number of functions that the software allows us to do. With MX Master we have the similar arrow keys, but it's too squished together to make room for the second scroller. The buttons are also not too readily distinguishable by feeling them if you're not thinking about it. The second scroller. Its use is highly subjective. Sideways scrolling is not something that we all do very often, and the second thing is that it did not seem to work with all the applications. The thumb button. This is a simple button that can be given any task. There is a rather large list of predefined commands to choose from, which can be applied to various buttons of the mouse, including this thumb button. At the bottom of the mouse, things are as they appear. On-off switch, connect, the sensor, and the device selector. This is the interesting bit. You can pair the mouse to 3 different devices. This can be done with Logitech's provided receiver or via Bluetooth. Real-life application again appears slim, as for one computer we use one mouse, and it tends to stay that way. On the topic of the sensor, first of all, I've used the mouse on a Corsair MM200 mousepad. For both of them, they work fantastic. Next, on glass, and both the mouse worked just fine. As it happens, I have both black and clear glass table, and it appears to make no difference. They work on both. On a wooden floor that is textured, no problems there. Next, on a stone bench top at the kitchen, either of them seems to work just fine there. Next surface of test was on leather, which for both worked just as well. On glossy varnished wood, no problems either. On the sky, no. The software interface. As you may have already seen in this video, the software interface from Logitech has a simple, clean layout. The functions you would like to assign to any of the given buttons can be done with relative ease. Simply click on the highlighted point and select function. You can also assign keyboard shortcuts. The horizontal scroller can be assigned different functions as well. On the point and scroll tab, there are some basic settings and sensitivity sliders. Some minor points. The Anywhere 2, for my hand it feels a bit small, but if you are after a smaller mouse, that may be the way to go. If you don't need the Bluetooth connectivity, you can grab the Anywhere first generation for about $60. It's practically identical otherwise and cheaper. The MX Master, while providing a good feel, if you are used to often lifting the mouse, it requires a bit of effort to do so. Battery life so far has been great, but this is where I need to mention another mouse from Logitech, the M705. It's still available for about $60. On a pair of AA batteries, this mouse, with heavy use, lasts me over a year and a half. Next thing is that it had hyper scrolling and more buttons than either of the MX mice that we are looking at. And the M705 overall has better button layout as well. Now the MX mouse, both of them has superior sensor and works over Bluetooth. Does this really justify Logitech to jack up the price by over 100%? Why I had to bring in the M705 was that it is very old model. They could do so well back then, you would think that the company would have moved forward in design. But there is little innovation here. Insisting something is advanced does not make it so automatically. Let me not end this on all doom gloom. Having used many Logitech mouse over the years, I know they will last till you get old. It's a well-known brand and is available in shops locally, which is great for local warranty as well. Look at it this way. If you receive these mouse from your boss or as a gift, these are good products to work with. Nothing wrong with them. They have their own merits. Well, let me say this. If you're about to spend your own money, do a bit of research. There's plenty on offer out there at this sort of price range. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Your comments about the video is something I look forward to. And please remember to subscribe so that you are updated about our upcoming videos. You can support our channel via Patreon, which I do greatly appreciate. See you in our next video. Bye for now.